In society today, we are being attacked constantly with inauthentic conversations. Fakeness, trying to look cool, trying to be somebody we're not. That is why the Damn Dude podcast is here to have the authentic conversations that need to be had in a way that will make you think and say, Damn Dude.
What up, everybody? What is good? Welcome to the Damn Dude podcast.
Damn Dude.
This is season 3, episode 58, and I'm your host, California Cal. Welcome to the show, you guys. Welcome. Yo, you guys, we got a real special treat for you guys on this episode. And I gotta tell you, this is one of the coolest interviews, stories, people I've ever met. And we're just gonna cut to the chase here. We got Yamamoto Boss in the house for an interview tonight. I should say today. We did this last night. I'm doing the intro right now. And this is one of the realest motherfuckers you can ever meet. Just truly. Like, you guys prepare yourself for this story. Buckle in for this interview. This shit hits deep on so many different levels. One of my new favorite rappers, somebody I consider a new friend, and this feels so real. I was like, yo, bro, like, I fuck with you, da-da-da. He's like, yeah, man, nah, for sure, bro. You know, as long as you don't do no weird shit or turn weird on me, we're cool, bro. I was like, yo, fuck yeah. Like, I appreciate that. That's how I feel about everybody else, too. So to hear that, I'm like, okay, fuck yeah, dude. So before we get into this, I want to give a very, very special shout out to the homegirl, Jenna Lane. For those of you guys that don't follow her or haven't seen her on the internet yet, or at different fucking import car events or modeling things or whatever, I know she's been blowing up lately. She had a San Diego Padres post that she had posted and it was going big. So everybody go shout out and go give Jenna Lane a follow. At her Instagram tag is Jenna Drenalina. So it's at JENNADRENALINA, or just go look up Jenna Lane, JENNA Lane. And the reason, Jenna, we're giving you a shout out, and side note, Jenna sold me my first cell phone I ever had, and that's a monumental thing because I didn't want a cell phone at first. So shout out to you, Jenna. We go back to fucking for sure high school, maybe junior high, I forget, but yo, shout out to you because her and Jason, Mr. Yamamoto Boss, have been having a conversation, and Jenna was like, yo, you need to go on a podcast and tell your story and do this shit. So then I find out who Jason is, and I'm listening to his music, and if you guys go back a couple episodes, I'm like, yo, this shit is fucking tight. So I'm sharing his music. I sent him the link. I'm like, bro, I gave you a shout out, da-da-da. And he goes, yo, what? Like, hey, if you want to guess, let's do this shit. I'm like, fuck, okay. So he's like, yo, what you got scheduled, blah, blah, blah. So we set it up. And so the reason the shout out for Jenna is because the way that Jason and I saw this was that, yo, she was a big connector in the position that God helped deliver this message, this interview, this setup, this whole interaction. So it was a pivotal piece, and it definitely matters. And yeah, so without further ado, you guys, also, before we get started, go look up my boy, Jason Yamamoto, his Instagram, and you can find him on YouTube everywhere, at Yamamoto_boss. That's at YAMAMOTO_boss. You guys, let's fucking run it.
Damn, dude.
Good. We got a special guest in the house. We got Yamamoto Boss, Mr. Jason Yamamoto, the big boss in the motherfucking house. And Welcome, bro. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure being here, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. First off, I want to say, if you don't know who this man is, go right now to Instagram, YouTube, go to both, type in @Yamamoto_boss, YAMAMOTO_boss, BOSS. Go follow, go listen to the music, run that shit up, hit the likes, hit the shares, all that shit. And I want to say something that's really special about this man here and why he's succeeding and going to keep succeeding at this music business and life is because he's fucking smarter than the most of us. So I appreciate your wisdom and your insight, and I want to be able to have you tell your story, paint your picture of who you are, and kind of have this whole thing come full circle. So, so it's like, I don't know, you can introduce yourself, or what's, like, where do you come from? What's your background story? How'd you get to this point in life?
Right. My name is Jason Yamamoto, aka Yamamoto Boss. I'm a rapper coming out of San Diego, California. My origins came from Paris, France. That's where I was born until I was age 7. And I came to the United States in 1992. And I resided in Fort Smith, Arkansas until I was 18. And then from 18, I moved to Wichita, Kansas, stayed there for 6 months, actually like 8 months, and then moved to California. And then from California, I enlisted into the Army. And from the Army, I stayed there until for 6 years, and then transferred into the National Guard, where I remained until I retired this year. In that time, I worked almost every job, from the streets all the way up to into my current career, which is rapping in the music industry. I've delivered furniture. I worked in the cemeteries. I worked admin, hotels, night shift, day shift, security. I went to college for 4 years. I went to Ashford University and majored in entrepreneurship. Graduated top of my class. And from then on in, I decided, I'm going to use my skills from all the things I've accumulated in my life, from being in the military, or being in the streets, as a street gangster, associated with Crips, and transforming all those experiences into art and in the form of music, and now releasing it on all major platforms, so that way for everybody to listen to my stories, where I came from, and how I'm changing the narrative, and also leaving a legacy for my children, so that way they know who their father was. If something were to happen to me, and my grandchildren would know exactly their roots, where they came from, and their grandchildren, and their children, etc. Just leaving a real legacy for my family, so that way they understand where they came from. Because when I first came to the United States, I didn't know who I was as a person. I didn't have that root. I didn't have that foundation. So growing up, I was really a lost child, trying to figure out like who I was and where I came from, and what my destiny was really about. So essentially, the music is a transformation of all past experiences into what it is now, and then what's going to be in the future for my future generations.
Fuck yeah, I love that, bro. There's something that like, and for the record, for those listening, we had recorded a podcast before, and some shit happened, so we're redoing this again. And with what I had mentioned last time, and one of my favorite things when I tell people about you is like the level of storytelling that you tell. Like the way that you tell stories is absolutely next level. Like the way that you so accurately paint these pictures and it's like nothing I've ever heard. And something that I've learned just through business and life and whatever is that like when you can tell a good story, that's the shit that really hits people and really moves people in a whole different kind of way. So like included in your story is struggle, pain, fucking just the craziest shit I've ever fucking heard in my life. And how you've transformed it into being a family man. You talk about like, yo, marry your wife, like take care of your kids, take care of your girl, like, and that's the shit. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is different. This shit's hella different. Then you've got, you're college educated. You've been in the military. Like when you came to the United States, you didn't even speak English. Like, that's wild, bro. Like, you know, for the people that don't know, he came here only speaking French in the first place. Like, that's a trip, bro. So to get to where you're at and to here now, it's an incredible thing. So like, would you mind sharing with the listeners like a little bit about what your childhood was like what it was like coming here when you first came here, and like some of the struggles you had to endure?
Right. So let me paint a picture of how Paris, France was for the first 7 years of my life. Paris, France, from what I recall, was a very safe city, a very safe town. You know, we had a lot of tourists, but growing up there is a lot different from obviously being a tourist. And their kindergarten actually starts at age 4. So all your children can actually start going to kindergarten at age 4. It was so safe that at age 4, I would go to school unsupervised. I could walk from home to the schoolhouse unsupervised, back and forth, which I think was like a 20-minute walk one way, you know. Mm-hmm. So for 20 minutes, anything could happen to a 4-year-old kid, right? Yeah. You get ran over, get kidnapped, whatever. But it was so safe that's how it was. I did not experience any racism when I was out there. I mean, I was a 4-year-old kid, but I didn't experience racism or anything. And I do recall, you know, being poor at that time too. Me and my little sister used to go to the bakery and steal bread, and the bakery owner would always look at us with puppy eyes and just allow us to take a couple bread. Damn. And, you know, every time we go there, because he knew that we were just little babies, you know, hungry. Yeah. So that's just how great Paris, France was at the time when I was there. I come to the United States in 1992. Rodney King just got his, you know, he just got whooped by a whole bunch of cops. And there was, you know, racism running rampant. You know, the certain black communities were attacking, you know, Asian communities for whatever reason. And it went from all the way from LA to where I was at in Fort Smith, Arkansas in 1992. Again, Rodney King just got beat up by a bunch of cops, and, you know, Asians were just the target at the time, you know, for revenge for whatever reason. Of course, I wouldn't know. I'm a little kid, French kid that just came to the United States, but now I'm a victim to racism, which I've never experienced in my life, you know. And the fact that I can't speak English at that time, it made it even worse, because all the white kids, all the colored kids was just picking on me. Even the Asian kids that mainly was raised here or born here in the United States and that could speak, you know, fluent English, they would pick on me too, just for the fact that, you know, I'm a foreigner, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I remember getting not beat up, but, you know, get a whooping from my aunt and uncle who adopted me at the time. They would always yell at me, like, why you walking to school for? Why you know, wait for us to take you to school and pick you up? Because it's dangerous out there. You can get kidnapped. You can get killed. Moving from France, which is very safe, then come to the United States, you know, where it's very, very dangerous. That was a whole 360, or not a 180, pretty much. Went from safe to dangerous, right? Yeah. So my whole world was changed. It was turned around. So being in this culture in the United States, I had to learn to survive for the first time in my life. I had to really learn how to survive the streets. So when I came to the United States, my mom couldn't take care of me because she was a single parent. My dad and my mom had divorced in Paris, France, and my mom she tried her hardest to raise me, but she couldn't. And then because the family support wasn't there in France. Originally, she was a refugee from the Vietnam War, and she was supposed to leave Thailand with her sister to Hawaii. But, destiny had a different plan for her, and she ended up going to France instead of going to Hawaii, and that's how she met my dad. Again, it was just destiny. Mm-hmm. So, things didn't work out between my mom and dad, and she had to take care of me. And then when she asked my aunt to take care of me, they said yes. Well, essentially, her husband said yes. She said no. But, they're married, so one says yes, one says no. A yes is a yes,
Right.
So they had to end up taking care of me without realizing that I need, like, cultural integration. And that, I think that's where they kind of failed me, is to, like, warn me, like, hey, the United States is dangerous. You need to learn how to speak English fast. You need to learn the culture, it's the American culture, in order to fit in.
Yeah.
But I don't think my aunt and uncle understood racism to that extent.
Were they from the United States, or were they from somewhere else originally?
My uncle was a helicopter captain in the Lao Royal Armed Forces.
Oh shit!
And after the Viet Cong won, and Laos became 100% communist, Vietnam became 100% communist, Cambodia became 100% communist. Once the communist regime won, like, anybody who was democratic ended up being refugees. Mm-hmm. My uncle became a refugee, and and that's how it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Yeah. Damn, man, that's a trip, bro. I can't even imagine what that experience must be like. Like, so then, like, how did you start adapting, or were you just fighting it and not understanding for hella long, or like?
Yeah, it was tough, man. Like, I went to an elementary school called Baldwin Elementary School in Fort Smith. I went there for grades, second grade and third grade, and it was hard for me over there because, just got there, You're not going to learn English the first, second year. It just is what it is. So every year, those years, I kept on getting beat up, getting picked on. It was easy to blame everything on me, say, oh, he did it. How am I going to defend myself? So at that time, in 1992, 1993, it was still legal to paddle the kids with a paddle.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I got paddled at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Fuck.
Yeah, they hit you with rulers. They can pull you by the ear.
Damn.
Yeah, they can choke you out by holding your shirt. So I was getting beat up by the teachers and the principal.
Fuck, I see. Cause I was going to school at that time, but that shit wasn't happening out here. Like, I didn't know that was even.
It was real.
Cracking off out there. Fuck.
Yeah, Fort Smith, Arkansas was and probably still is the most racist city and state of all United States. You can Google that. Arkansas is voted the most racist state in the United States.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, man. Wow. Damn. So then, like, did you start making friends, or did anybody, like, stick their neck out for you and be like, hey, bro, like, it's all good, like, or were you just fucking, like, grinding by yourself, just fucking for a long ass time? Or, like, did you make any friends, or did anybody have any fucking compassion for you, or, like, anything like that?
I only called one girl. Her name was Nui. She lives out here in California, which I haven't even, shout out to Nui, but I haven't seen her in years. But she actually lives out here in Riverside. Oh, shit. I've been meaning to actually go out and visit her, but I do recall her being in that same school coincidentally, and I didn't get to meet her again until we went back to junior high. But in those 2 years, she was the only girl who was the nicest. She was an Asian girl too, obviously, but she was really nice to me, and I just didn't know how to reciprocate that kindness, because I was just literally stripped from my childhood in France, and I'm now living here in the United States, and everybody's treating me like dirt. Yeah. And then one person is actually trying to treat me good, and I just don't know how to reciprocate that emotion at that time, because it was just a lot of hate, you know.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Damn, shout out to her. That's a big deal, you know? It's like there's a lot of people will commit suicide and shit like that if that one fucking person didn't step up and say something or do something. It's like, you know, even if she did, if it wasn't a big deal to her, it's like, look at what it does for you, you know what I mean? Like, that's a big ass deal, because then look at all the people you've helped and got to inspire your kids, your family, all this shit, you know? So it's like that's such a blessing for her to step up and do that. Damn. So then, like, from there, did you kind of start like getting curious at all? Or like, yo, there's good people out here? Or like, was it just like, man, fuck everybody still sort of thing?
I wouldn't say it was fuck everybody. I feel like that wasn't my journey to say fuck everybody. My journey was to experience, I think it was to experience hate. That's all it was. See what makes people hate. You know, because I saw more hate than I saw love. Yeah. And then when I did see love, it was genuine love, and it was rare that some people had it. It was, you could have 100 people in the room and maybe one of them actually had love in their heart. It's crazy. So there's almost a 99% chance of people out there that has that much hate in their heart.
Yeah, no, that's deep, bro. That's really deep. Fuck, you look at internet comments, there's fucking proof right there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's why it don't bother me, man. I've been hated my whole life.
Yeah, no, that's one thing, dude. I really admire and I think is dope about you is the way that you transform hate into this, like, it's a complete different like element for you where you're just like, that's it. Like, all right. Like, you're just like, yo, hate on my next video, please. Like, it's like, y'all just run up the numbers. Like, okay, you know, that's fucking cool, man. That's tight. So then as you start discovering, like, going through that process, did you start finding that 1% of people? Was that like, did that start becoming a thing for you? Or
so it just started becoming a standard deviation of trying to figuring out where all the good people was at. And the longer I lived as a human, it started to become very slim. Very, very slim, you know. But the journey hasn't ended. There's been a lot of good people along the journey, and again, 100, and there will be one. And so it's an accumulation of the journey, you know. And I can honestly say they're out there. Good people are out there. You just got to be on the journey to see how these people can come into your life and provide that love to you, because there's so many different experiences that happened to me that I'm still surprised and shocked that it did happen. You know, a good story happened was when I was 18 and I went to my going away party from Wichita, Kansas. I was going to go to California, right? As I mentioned before, we had a going away party, and there was an opposite gang that was attending the same party, and I had to put a hit on them personally. So I had all the people I was with, about 30 people, and they had like 20, 30 people, and it was just about 60 people, 50, 60 people fighting in the club. Yeah. You know, broken glass, knives, chairs being thrown. You know, people were really getting hurt. You know, I'm surprised nobody lost their life that night. But when I went to jail, you know, I was charged for assault of 2 police officers with grave bodily injury. I had broken 2 police officers' nose with my foot, you know, and so they pressed charges on me. Yeah. The charges was 10 years each for each cop on federal charges. Yeah. So I was facing 20 years. Damn. Was it concurrent? No, consecutively.
Oh, yeah. Shit.
So that means 10 years and then serve another 10 years on top of that, like consecutively.
Yeah.
So they was trying to keep me in jail for 20 years. And when I went to jail, there was an angel bailer. An angel bailer is they'll never release their name. They'll pay your bail. At that time, my bail was like $50,000, so they paid $5,000 to get me out. You know, and I was only in the holding tank for 48, 72 hours. And I just got out of jail. I thought I was going to be there for months before I got my first hearing.
Damn. Yeah.
So again, there's good people out there.
Yeah, for sure. So then there's another piece to that story too, right? About joining the military from that point.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and coincidentally, again, I had talked to a recruiter about joining the military. Again, we didn't sign any paperwork. We just shook hands. We got our numbers. We exchanged numbers. And when I went to court, and again, everything was perfect. Like, the lawyer I got, he was good. He was kind-hearted. All he asked was for me to be truthful. Did I intentionally hit the cop? And I was like, no, I didn't hit the cop. There was a gang fight, and the cops jumped in, and coincidentally, again, I hit the cop because they're in a huge bar fight.
Yeah.
And when you're in a bar fight, you're not going to say, "Oh, I'm going to hit a cop." No one has that thought. I'm going to hit a cop.
Yeah, you're just surviving.
Yeah. So the lawyer ran with it, and he asked the judge, it's like, "Hey, my client here, he was in a bar fight. There was a lot of people in there. Cops jumped in. He accidentally hit him, and then he also said that, hey, my client also was he's enlisting into the military." And the judge got curious, and he really thought like I was bullshitting,
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Hey, man, let me get that recruiter's phone number. Let's call him up right now, and let's see if he's lying." So he calls up my recruiter. He gives him my name. He said, "Hey, I got this young man right here. He said he's considering joining the military, like, And then the recruiter said, "Yeah, we were talking, He said and then the judge looked at me. He said, "Son, if you join the military right now, I'll drop all your charges." And at that time, we just invaded Iraq, so they needed people, they needed bodies, right? Mm-hmm. And then I looked at my lawyer. He said, "You better take this deal." It's like, "All right, man." I said, "All right, I'll take the deal. I'll listen to the military." Mm-hmm. And the judge had called the recruiter to come with the paperwork to the courthouse, and I enlisted right there in the courthouse for an easy 3-year contract.
Yeah.
And then that's how it happened. I got in and joined the military right there, and just escape a 20-year sentence.
Damn. Bro, that's crazy, man. That's like, you definitely got angels. You got God on your side. Like, you were being looked out for. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's like two things, but I guess one is like, before I'd asked you, it's like, yo, what gave you faith to just keep going? Because you lived through beyond what people would consider hell and torture and just the craziest shit ever. And I was like, and I remember I asked you, it's like, what was it? And you said, "Oh, I just knew since I was born, there's this light in me, and that's God." And I asked you, how'd you get to God, right? And you're like, "It's just in me. I know this." Like, so that's something I think is cool as fuck just to share with people, But then also, like, so you were involved, you got involved with gang activity, all this shit, like starting around like 12 years old. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then in comparison to that, joining the military was easy, or fucking, did you see similarities, or what was like cause for those that understand, when you come from gang mentality and what that thinking, the structure, the integrity, the planning, all that shit, like getting DP'd, whatever, like all that stuff, like when you join the military now, like what was the experience or the contrast?
Yeah, so joining the military and then being in the gangs, like almost similar. However, being in the gang, it's you have to give your life for it, And a lot of people say, "Oh, being a gangster is stupid. It's no point in being a gangster. All you're gonna do is die or go to jail." Yeah, but there comes with a special power that comes with being in a gang. When you're in a gang, if you're having a rough time in life, when you are down at your lowest, you have a community of people who shares the same passion, which is ultimately loyalty, right? Loyalty is a very powerful word, a very powerful entity in itself. In the acronym of leadership, loyalty is literally the first word, right?
Yeah.
There is no leadership without loyalty.
Yeah.
And that's 90% of all the people that lives in this world. They do not have that word engraved in their soul. They just don't, right? Yeah. So being a gang member, I had to learn the word loyalty. You couldn't backstab your brothers. You know, if they had a conflict with another gang or another person on the street, it didn't have to be a gang. Their problem is your problem. But again, it switches back. My problem is their problem. You know, right or wrong, we'll have to handle it outside the situation. But even though I'm wrong, let's say I'm fighting a dude and I'm wrong, they still have to jump in and help me out, you know, and then we'll make corrections outside that situation. But a lot of people in the streets right now, or in corporate or your everyday job, they don't have that loyalty. You know, if like, let's say you talk to a customer and you said the wrong thing, your coworker not gonna back you up. I'm not losing my job over you. Sorry, buddy, you did it. You messed up.
Right.
You get fired. Not in the game. Yeah, you messed up. We'll handle it, but we're not gonna kick you out the game. But we're gonna handle it. We're gonna rectify the situation first.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where a lot of people don't understand that when you're in the gang, you have that community. And if you're homeless, the gang takes care of you. Oh, you don't have a place to stay? Stay in my room. Stay in my living room. You know, you don't have food? Come eat at my house. Let's have barbecue. My mama take care of you. My mama, you know, somebody else's mama take care of you. You know.
Yeah.
You know, even though they may not like it, but that's the gang rules.
Right.
And then for some reason, parents understand that, even though they don't want their kids to be in gangs, but they understand that their kids are in gangs. But there's laws that goes with being a gangster, you know. And then when you go in the military, it's a lot of people don't understand that loyalty, because loyalty has to be built first, right? So when you go in the military, you're getting paid to be a soldier. When you're in the gang, there is no incentive. Incentive is the brotherhood of the people that you're going to be around with. That's the incentive, the protection, the security, loyalty, right? The community, that's the incentive. There's no money in there. But in military, there is money. So that's the only reason why most people join the military, is for the money, for the school, the benefits, stability, right? The loyalty comes later. Like, they enjoy being in the military, they enjoy the camaraderie, then that's when the loyalty builds. So when I went into the military, I already had that loyalty already built in me, which made me already stand out way more than other soldiers, right?
Right.
So I would easily get angry at other soldiers because they didn't understand that part of loyalty. That's what made a person a good leader.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that probably made you a really good leader, because you understand that, and that's where your base is operating from. Like, yeah, man. Damn. No, that's cool. Are you comfortable telling the story of what led you to join a gang?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
So when I was younger, I was getting bullied a lot. I was poor, and especially poor, you know, and because the United States have a Mr. Jones, or the Joneses effect. Pretty much, you got to have whatever the next person has. If he has the green shirt, you got to get a green shirt. That person had white shoes, you got to get the white shoes. You know, everybody had to look good, you know, so I didn't have that luxury growing up. So I mainly was struggling, you know, what can I do? I'm poor. I'm a poor Asian kid that doesn't have parents. And I have to live with my aunt and uncle who's struggling to make money because they're refugees. They all work in factories, and they just didn't have the money to afford me nice clothes. So again, I'm out here, you know, growing up, breaking into people's homes, stealing food, going in stores, stealing clothes, just trying to make ends meet for myself and for my community. So I remember, like, when I was in 7th grade, at the end of 7th grade, a bunch of kids were pulling my gangster card, right? They were like, oh, you're not a real gangster. You're not going to, prove it to us, right? So they were like, hey, let's go rob our math teacher. So math teacher had some money in his wallet. We all saw it. They took we ended up taking his money. And one of the students, God bless her, she was a Christian girl. At that time, I got mad because she snitched on me or snitched on us. But then again, she was a civilian, she had every right to do it.
Yeah.
It was our fault for getting caught, Yeah. It is what it is, God bless her again. She snitched on us. The cops came, arrested us, and sent us to juvie. And, the other kids that participated in the robbery of our math teacher, I never got to apologize to my math teacher. I don't think he ever wanted to see me again, but because that was 7th grade, we still had 8th and 9th grade. So, so he, when all the other kids went home that same day, they got bailed out. My aunt and uncle had left me in juvie and told me that, to pretty much rot in jail. And when I called them and said, hey, I need you to bail me out, they said, nah, you ain't coming home. You gonna learn your lesson. You gonna stay in there as long as it takes. And then to me, I didn't know what that meant. I just felt abandoned. Mm-hmm. So, at that point, I was at survival mode 100%. The things you say to a kid can make or break a kid. So as an adult, I advise everybody to be very, very careful what you say to children, because they will take it very, very literally. Mm-hmm. So if you really love your children, do not say things you will regret in the future, because what my aunt and uncle had told me that day changed my entire life moving forward. So being in juvie, I was locked down for a week, and my cellmate that was next to me was getting anally raped every day. I heard him cry every night, getting raped for hours on end.
Fuck.
And when I got out of my cell, I walked downstairs. I saw all the white kids looking at me because there was only 2 Asian kids. And guess what? My cell, the guy who was next to my cell, he was Asian, so I wasn't going to be the other Asian getting raped. And I saw the black kids, and I had asked them about the situation, and they gave me an opportunity of a lifetime to join a gang called Crips. I was aware of the situation. I knew what Crips was at the time, and I said, yeah, I'm down for the gang, and that's how it happened. It was just how it was.
Yeah. Damn, bro. That's some wild shit, bro. Like, it is like, I mean, that's the smartest option you could take at that point, right? It's like, what else are you going to do? Like, fuck that. That's not even worth trying to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, What the fuck? Fuck, man. So, yeah, okay. So then that led you to that. And then, like, so you stayed connected to that when you got out finally, and you were just with the shit at that point?
It was a little hard to reconnect with the gang outside of juvie, because most of the Crip gangsters were mainly on, I was on the Kimmon side. So Fort Smith was separated in 4 corners, right? Even though it was a small town, but it was a small, big town, because it's a country city, right? Mm. So Kimmons, it was divided in 4 different corners in 2 different sections of the city. So it's divided. All the poor area was called North Side. All the rich area was called South Side. Mm. But in between North Side and South Side, the 2 richest middle schools or junior highs was called Chaffee Junior High, and I can't remember the other one, but on the north side, it was Darby and Kimmons, right? All the Crips were in Darby. All the black Crips anyways. Mm. All the Asian Crips were in Kimmons. Okay. Or another subset of Crips would be in Kimmons, right? Mm-hmm. So I would have to like hang out with those Crips over there, not in their gang though, but they crippin' too, you know.
So they're cool though. Like it's because Crip they're cool. Cause I know out here it's like you could be Crip and still like nah fuck you it's on. But like I mean sometimes you know what I'm saying. But like were they cool? Was there a mutual respect in between them?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, you banging blue, you was cool, you know.
Yeah.
That's all it was. You just on two different sides of the house.
Okay.
You know, we just like, you know, step brother, step sister type thing.
Yeah, for
know?
sure. Did you notice a big difference between the way Asian gang operated versus the blacks?
Yeah. The blacks were always curious of other races. I'm just gonna be real with you. They were always curious about the Asian community, the Latino community, even the white community. It's just that that town was so racist that nobody, you know, really fucked with the blacks. But they was really kind-hearted people.
Yeah.
And just nobody gave them a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, no, that definitely. That's a trip. That makes sense even in my own world and everything I've seen and stuff. You know, it's like that's kind of cool though when people get curious about other cultures versus being like, man, fuck them because blah blah blah. Like on some dumb racist shit. You know, it's like why meet racism with more racism? Like, you know, it's like the fuck. You know, man, that's crazy. Like, random side question to that. It kind of has nothing to do with it, but have you ever seen that movie Banging in Little Rock?
Nah.
Oh, that's just a trip, bro. I don't even know what you would take from it, but it's like is filmed in like 94 or some shit, and it's just filming life in Little Rock, like and they got all these Crips and all these people, and I was just like, what the fuck? I had no idea this shit was going on out here. Like some of these people are posers, but some of them are really with the shit, and it's just like I don't know. It's interesting.
No, the Little Rock is real. It's real. It's not nothing posing about Little Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, we went down there, you know, to handle some business, and all the Bloods in Little Rock, they banging. They real bangers.
Yeah.
And what I mean by handling business, like we have people that came from Fort Smith and moved to Little Rock, and they called us like, hey, and it's only a 2.5 hour drive, so. You know, they say, hey, they banged on my little, you know, cousin, my little, you know, wooty woo, and we need your help. We need to slide on them real quick.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, man. So they would have to wait for us like damn near 3-4 hours. They just honestly it's 4 hours because you gotta get all the dudes together. Then we had to logistically drive from Fort Smith down to Little Rock, meet the homies again, get the story. Then we gotta plot the revenge and all that stuff, and then slide on them like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Damn, that's crazy, man. So then I guess fast forward back again to military life. Like, so what was like your overall military experience like? Because you got shipped out to Iraq. Yeah. So like, what was your experience out there like? Like, what'd you learn? What'd you take from all that?
So this is my first time out there, you know, going to war, and they had brainwashed us to hate Middle Eastern people. I recall, like before going to Iraq, they set us in a room showing Americans getting beheaded, you know, getting their heads cut off. They made, you know, comedic jokes of Middle Eastern people, you know, stuff like that, just to degrade them, just so that way they're less human. That way they're easy targets for us. When we see them, we just cap them, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Of course, I wasn't about that life. Like hating people. I'm not racist like that, you know. But they was trying to get us to be racist. And I remember, you know, that's how it was. And I could see all the white folks, some even the Latinos, even some, I won't say the black folks. I never heard of black folk being racist, you know, but mainly some of the Latinos and some of the whites were convinced that, you know, racism was the choice of weapon, psychological weaponry to use on the soldiers to, you know, make the enemy even, you know, less human. Right?
Yeah.
So when we get to Iraq, you know, the Middle Eastern people, when you get there, I see farmers, man. They got farmers. You got these guys live in mud huts, you know. It was like going back in 1970. Like, they was driving, like, Daewoo. They was driving, like, cars you don't even see in the U.S. It was really broke. They was really broke people. And they was, you know, they was trying to survive out there. And we was just shooting these people down every day. And racism was running rampant. You know, towel heads, sand niggers, everything. Habibi, Haji, even the contractors that came from India, Nepal, they would just treat them like shit all the time. Damn. And it was hard for me because culturally and geographically, I knew who these people were. I remember having a conversation to some of the people we had detained, and they had asked me, what do you think about us? I said, y'all some cool people. They was like, yeah, man, we're Asian. And that's when I realized they didn't even call themselves Middle Eastern. Middle Eastern is a Western terminology we use on Arabs and stuff like that. But Iraqis, Afghanis, Nepalis, everybody them call themselves Asians. They're not considered Middle Eastern. To them, in their own minds, what the hell's Middle Eastern?
Yeah. Fuck, man. That's wild, dude. Like, that's such a perspective, like, mind fuck for people in America. Like, well, to even say America, in the United States, technically, right? Like, fuck, man, because, damn, it's like, that's fucked up, Like, it's weird how, like, so many of us here are tied to other countries and all this, but then we like lose sight of that, or we forget, and we lose that like that humanity in us, and it's like, oh, you're them, we're us. And then at some point it's like, yo, we're all the same fucking people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all had to start, we all got families, we all got hearts and souls, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, dude. Like, so then, like, did that kind of help heal things for you with that understanding, or did it make it harder at that point?
It made it harder because racism extended way beyond than I thought. Mind you, I'm coming from France. Now I'm in the U.S. I thought I'm fighting for a country. I thought I'm like, defending my country, and then I'm going over here to this country, and they're spreading their racism there. Fucking towel heads, sand nigger, everything, and they shooting them down, and then I'm just witnessing the hate again, experiencing the hate of from the U.S., expanding to the Iraq. Remember, we went to war with them for 20 years.
Yeah.
For what? They ain't got nothing there. They had no mustard gas. They ain't no nuclear bombs. That's already been established. Mm-hmm. Oh, we're freeing them. We're repairing their culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, they didn't ask for that.
Yeah.
Y'all fought a boogeyman. Y'all wanted to go find the guy who bombed 9/11. And y'all never found him.
Yeah.
Y'all just started picking people to blame, and they said, "Oh, we're just gonna show the Middle Eastern we not the ones." Essentially, the U.S. just was flexing.
Yeah.
So and later they found out majority of the terrorists came from Saudi Arabia. But guess what? We're getting our oil from Saudi Arabia. But we're not making fun of Saudi Arabians for some odd reason. Yeah. What's going on here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Iraqis had nothing to do with this. So we killed a whole bunch of Iraqis and our American people, and convinced our American people that the Iraqis was our enemy. So we're getting our people killed over a boogeyman. Again, experiencing the hate, which is crazy, and in Afghanistan too. Afghanistan had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they made it a war against Iraq and Afghanistan, so it's crazy. So I got to witness for 20 years my Asian peoples, getting killed over a boogeyman.
Fuck. Yeah, that just puts a whole new layer and level to all the understanding and all this, because like, how many people are quick to be like, yeah, fuck those people, send them to war, da-da-da. It's like, yo, you don't even know what you're talking about right now. Like fuck, you go. It's like, what the fuck? Damn. So then, like, that's a tough experience all over again at like a whole new depth, like, of your life, I imagine. Like, were you still able to find that 1% of love in life and amongst the fucking 100 people, or was that shit just gone and everything put to the side for that?
There's a lot of good people in the military, that's for sure. A lot of good veterans out there as well, All I have to say is that in my situations, when I was going through racism, I was facing getting kicked out of the military because two white dudes decided that, I wasn't worthy enough to be in the military. So had put me through court martial and accused me of, being racist, which is crazy. I was like, no, man, y'all were fighting this half white, half Korean dude, but y'all was making fun of his Asian side, and all I did was back him up because y'all kept on bullying him, and you had gotten the whole unit to bully him, and I was the only one who stood up and fought back, and all of a sudden I'm the one getting in trouble. But God was in my corner as usual, and I had a first sergeant when I went to Iraq, and when I first met him, I was just being this cocky little funny guy, right? And I remember his first introduction. He was like, "I'm going to be your first sergeant," but I looked at his rank. Hey, Sergeant First Class, you're not a first sergeant. And he would laugh at me. His name was Sergeant First Class Reyes, and he's a Latino dude, of course. And he would laugh at me, but when we was in Iraq, he would always take care of me. He was like, "Hey, man, can you cut the sergeant major's hair? Can you take some time out?" And, he was trying to get me involved with the unit, because the unit never was racist against me at some points, where they never invited me to the party. Not parties. Can't really party in Iraq or in combat, but when they had like get-togethers, to congregate for morale purposes, I was never invited. But he would always try to take his time to come visit me, and chat me up a little bit. And so when we separate ways after the war, and I was in my new unit, and I was in court martial at my hearing, I felt a tap on my shoulder, and I look up. It's him again, but this time he's now a sergeant major.
Oh shit.
So the last time I saw him, I was a specialist, which is a rank of E4. And when he saw me again, I was wearing a staff sergeant rank, which is an E6. He was a command sergeant major, and he looked at me. He was like, "I know you. This is your court hearing?" I was like, "Oh, hell no." I was like, "Man, what are you doing here?" And like, I say, "Oh, man, they called me down. They made me rush down here, and they said we needed you here because we're about to prosecute this dude out of the military because of racism, blah, blah." And he didn't know it was me. But as soon as he saw me, his face lit up, and he told the colonel, who was the judge at the time, it's like, "Hey, you need to drop this case right now. This guy, he's 100%, like, solid. Like, he got no racist bone in his body. Whatever he had to do, he had to do." And I'm sure he meant well. And so when they asked me, like a real question, like when they asked me, can you recall the situation, and I had to explain it to them again, in a time frame. Of course, when you're 100% and when you're solid, when I explained it to them, they believed it. I didn't have to have 100 witnesses, because actually they were witnesses, but they were all against me. The witnesses that was there, all they said was, "Yeah, Yamamoto, he's the one who punched that white dude. He's the one who shoved him. He's the one who put him in the headlock, who beat the shit out of him." It is what it is, man. I'm a rocket, Yeah. If I'm gonna go 100, I'm gonna go 100. I'm sorry that you got your ass whooping. It is what it is, but
yeah.
But when I explained it to them, it's just, hey, I had to defend this dude, and nobody was doing anything for him. They were just watching him having a mental breakdown, and I'm sorry, man. I said, I'll do it again. I'll get out the military. Y'all want me to, but I'm sticking up for what's right,
Yeah.
Loyalty, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't jump one dude like that. That's not cool. We all wearing the uniform.
Yeah.
Again, that loyalty, it came from being a gang. That's something that nobody had,
Yeah.
And when the colonel heard that, he decided, he asked me a question, "Would you do that again?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it again." And then my sergeant major was like, "No, you won't do that again." Oh yeah. And give him a thumbs up. "Yeah, you're right. I won't do this again." And he's kind of right. Like, that situation never really happened again. Not that I know of. not in my proximity. So, in that situation, there goes that 1%, that came out of nowhere.
And it's like the impact of that 1%. That's like life saving. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, man, that's crazy, bro. That's just so much proof of how that you're blessed, man. Like in such a major way, dude. Like, damn. So then did you just so then you served out your years and then you went National Guard and then like that was that with military?
Kind of. There's a lot of stories in between.
Yeah.
That was not my first time going back in the court martial. I had gotten accused of sexual assault, sexual harassment, something like that. Anybody can accuse somebody with that. Again, I beat that case, just being solid, And I remember one time when I was going to court for that one too, it was crazy. That person just didn't, they were waiting for that person's evidence. We need to see him, we need pictures, we need something like showing that I went out of my way to commit that crime, right? And she had witnesses and quote witnesses, and I obviously I didn't have any.
Right.
But when the commander had saw me and my kid and my wife, my stepchild, I meant, he was like, man, I didn't know you had a wife and kid, and you should have told me, and that had changed everything. And my wife was like, man, he ain't raped nobody, man. I said, because he saw my wife, he saw how pretty she was, and then he saw the person who was accusing me, she was ugly as hell. I was like, man, why would I want to rape that ugly thing? And then behind my wife's back, who's beautiful,
Yeah.
So they had dropped the case on that, all just because I said that. Like, if I was gonna rape somebody, it'd be somebody much prettier than that.
Yeah, right.
And my wife, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, it's like, but I'm not doing that shit anyways.
Yeah, I'm not doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a big no-no in Crip gang, in the Crip culture. I mean, I'm not sure what other gangs do, but rape is not, it's one of the codes that's not allowed to rape women.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's DP for sure. If you got accused of rape.
Yeah, no doubt, absolutely. So then, at what point did you start going to college?
I went to college. So I came to California. I came back to California at age 24, and I joined the National Guard. At that time, I had married my wife, and I was planning to join Special Forces. And so I thought, okay, cool. I'm just going to train for it. And I was doing it really well. And I had opened up a YouTube channel. I was going extremely viral. I was making almost $2,500 a month on just videos. And it was moving up quick, too. It wasn't just like, it went from $100, $200, $500, all the way up. And it kept on moving up. And I was working part-time jobs, 2 part-time jobs, and training for Special Forces. But I wasn't happy with all the situation, because we was, living in a one bedroom, not an apartment. We was renting a 1 bedroom.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we was renting a bedroom from a friend of mine who was really close, but that was his apartment. But we was renting that 1 room.
Yeah.
And I had a stepchild, so it was 3 people in 1 room.
Damn.
Yeah. It was cool because the kid was baby at the time, so it was easy.
Yeah.
And then that's pretty much. I wasn't happy that I was the stellar soldier. That I got humbled real quick. I was a really stellar soldier, and then I got humbled what a civilian was. I got to see the struggles of a civilian. I didn't have that stability anymore. I didn't have that 1st and 15 check anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That
military people are very accustomed to. It's like a welfare check in a sense. Now you have to earn your money. And then, but I always been a hustler. But again, when you're being fed 1st and 15 check, you didn't have to worry about hustling so much.
Yeah.
you know. Now I'm back in survival mode, and I'm trying to not, sell drugs or go stealing and compromise my relationship with my wife because I just married her.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go to jail because I knew if I go to jail, I'm not going to see her anymore. And it was what's the whole point of getting married? Mm-hmm. So I tried doing the civilian thing and try to get a regular job. It didn't work out because everybody was paying cheap, And one day I got tired of it. I had asked God, like, God, I need your help. Like, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Like, help me out, man. So the next day I had wrecked my car and totaled it. And I had to get a new car. And I had an epiphany. I quit all my jobs and decided to go back to college from there. And I went from there, and then I took a work-study job working at the cemetery as a grave digger, groundskeeper. So I was, laying bodies down in the ground at the National Cemetery for 4 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. Fuck, what was that like? That's a very interesting, unique place to be. What did you? Because I've only met one other person who's done that before, and it's like they found peace in it. Did you find peace in it, or was it just like, this is weird, or were you just comfortable, or like?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That shit was depressing as fuck. I smelled dead bodies. What I did learn was that the people that was getting hired there was mainly veterans. I work at a national cemetery, so mainly people who was getting buried was veterans. So every day I saw a veteran get put down on the ground. I got to hear their stories from families. They would always, eulogy, of the person who died.
Mm-hmm.
And then hearing stories, good, bad. Sometimes there was nobody there to accept the flag. It was, literally just the cemetery rep and the casket. Nobody was there, and we just had to get the casket and put it down. So there was a lot of veterans that didn't have friends or family. There's a lot of certain veterans had a lot of friends and family. It was different. I got to see different stories of every person that was out there.
Yeah, damn, man, fuck, that's wild, bro. I'm sure it sounds like you learned a lot from that whole experience, though. Like,
yeah,
in a way, right? Like perspective on life and like your purpose and what you can accomplish. It's like, yo, I ain't going out like that. Like, no disrespect, but it's like, I'm not going out like that. Like, I'm gonna have my people. I'm gonna have a solid, especially if loyalty is such a big thing for you, right? Like, yeah, man. So then from there, you went through. So you say you went to Ashford. You went through and you took. What would you study and how was that? How was your college experience?
Yeah, I went to Ashford University. It was out here in San Diego. At one point, they resided. Now they're residing in Arizona, and they had, and I think Arizona State University had purchased because, they had purchased that school because it was a for-profit school, so they had absorbed them. But when I was attending Ashford University, we're located off of Highway 15 North, next to Balboa Avenue.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anyways, I attended that college. It was a private school. It was awesome. I would implore anybody who want to go to college, go to a private school. It's way better than going to a state university, in my opinion. They cater to the students. They have unlimited access to all the library books, so you don't have to go out there buying books and everything. Everything's on. They provide everything for you. If you're late for assignments or whatever, they will work with you. They will not, as long as you give them a heads up, they'll work with you. But, I'm not, no hate to anybody who goes to a state university or a community college, but you're spinning your wheels over there. Yeah, go to a private school. It's way better. Or go to a nonprofit school, but don't go to a community college or a state university. College degree at the end of the day is a college degree. It worked out for me. I enjoyed it. I went to school for entrepreneurship. Again, graduated at the time of my class. There wasn't that many people in entrepreneurship. We started off with 7 people, and five of us graduated, all because we used teamwork. 4 years of knowing these 5 people.
Yeah. Damn. So while you're there, was it weird for you that there wasn't all this chaos cracking off everywhere? Or were you just finally like, damn, I can breathe now, like sort of thing? Or it's like, were you still hella on edge or like, you know what I'm saying? Because all the shit you've been through, it's like, that's like traumatizing for a lot of people. And it puts you just fucking paranoid, this, that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, were you able to just chill and like, and you know what I'm saying? Like feel better or anything?
Not really. I got to see the streets, growing up, all the way up till I joined the military, mind you. Mm-hmm. And then going to war, the war was the streets again, but this time on, we just got bigger guns, Mm-hmm. And I come back to the States and I suffered, PTSD, combat PTSD. But now it wasn't as bad as some of the other veterans because I already had PTSD from the streets, mm-hmm. Being in gang fights. And then, however, my wife was definitely a huge part of, of the healing process. I'm still healing every day, finding new ways to be better, be stronger. But she was definitely my rock, Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, if you're a dude, you need a woman, man. A solid woman, and you pick one, and just how it's gonna be, And then, good or bad, whatever situation. I'm not perfect. I feel like my wife's a little bit perfect. She can, she has her imperfections, but who here is not perfect,
Yeah.
And then, but going to college, I'm still in the military, by the way. So, like, I'm still running missions for the military because that was my side money, too. If I wasn't in college, if I wasn't at the cemetery, I was running military operations, because National Guard, you get paid per mission. It's the military's mercenary, in a sense. Mm-hmm. So if there was a mission, they have a set budget. This is how many days you're going to work, and this is how much you're going to get paid. You want to do it? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Of course, I'm not going to say thumbs down. So I'm like, all right, shit, I'll do it. It's money in my pocket. Yeah. So I was running military missions all the time. Here in California or a different state, sometimes overseas. So, like, for me, but I'm a soldier. At that time, I was already accustomed to the lifestyle. So I'm always on the edge in a sense. As long as I'm a soldier, I'm always going to be on the edge. And even long after I'm out the military, because like now, as I'm transitioning from being a soldier, college student, graduate, family member, I'm going into a celebrity status. And guess what, man? There's weirdos out there. For whatever reason, they might be plotting on me right now, trying to get my home address so they can, when I'm not home, they might, try to steal from me, or I'm on the streets and trying to find me and gun me down for whatever reason, So I'm always going to be on edge.
Yeah. No, I feel it. It sounds like it's a big driving factor for you too, and it's like, and that's the other thing too. It's like I caught myself in that position where it's like street shit was just so traumatizing for me in ways and shit. And it's like, there was a point where it's like I was doing so much healing and shit, and it's like I kind of lost that edge a little bit, and I was like, and then I catch myself, I'm like, nah, I am walking around here vulnerable, naked feeling, It's like, nah, you got to keep a piece of that intact, you know what I'm saying? I think it's a matter of having a healthy relationship with it, like knowing how to control your anger, knowing how to control when to fucking pop off, when to let shit slide. Because like you're saying too, it's like, especially if we got kids and like if you're moving into celebrity status, you're influencing a lot of kids through music and all of this. So it's like what you say and how you say it and the energy behind it is a big fucking deal, because shit, we know how much music influenced us and shit, and it's like how much we take from it and what it means and how it can fucking fire you up. It could charge you up. It could like take you here, there, whatever, it's like if you're heartbroken, if you're in love, if you're fucking trying to fight, if you're trying to calm down, whatever, there's music for every type of feeling we could feel, So like, fuck, man, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back here 1 second.
Damn, dude.
All right, we back. So, So talking about music, because you're a musician, and I gotta say, I've been fucking bumping your songs on repeat like fucking none other, bro. Like, it just hits so fucking deep for me. Like, I'm like, yo, I resonate with that. Like, nobody, it's like, you know how it's like there's times where it's like there's shit you think about or you understand, but you haven't heard somebody say it in words yet. And it's like, oh shit, like that's what I've been feeling, right? Like that's what your music does for me. The way that you tell stories and the way that you highlight standing up for yourself and your family, respecting your girl, like, and that sense of loyalty, it really, really exists inside your music, your story, your everything, like your pain, your love, your expression, like all of it. It's very, you put it out there. And I think it's fascinating too, because like you're a real stoic sort of dude. So it's like people who are like that, it's like, yo, like, what's this dude about? You know? And it's like, I love that you put that out there because you're such an anomaly. Like you don't see, for one, like you're a big dude, you're an Asian dude, that's already rare. Your background, where you come from, that's rare as fuck. Like, so all this combination of everything leads you to this, and you're just fucking putting it down. So like, tell the people or share with us, like, what led you to music? What was your first inspirations? I remember before you were telling me some of the songs that were the first, and it's like, what was your relationship with music that really you were like, yo, this is something that I can do, that I enjoy, that I'm gonna do this shit.
Right. Music's always been a part of my life. I remember my mama used to play like rock music as a child, like Scorpion.
Yo, that's some of my parents' favorites, the Scorpions. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Really love that, that band. And she always played like classical music for me to listen to, like Bach and Mozart, as a child. And then I got really into hip hop because of Vanilla Ice. In France, it wasn't like any black hip hop artists that was coming out. Obviously in France, but Vanilla Ice was popping, And then MC Hammer too, shout out MC Hammer.
Hell yeah.
And then when I came to the United States, I couldn't speak any English, but one song did stick out, and it was two songs. One was from Naughty by Nature, OPP, and Crisscross, Jump. And I really loved those songs growing up. And I used to remember dressing my, flipping my clothes around and wearing my clothes backwards. Just, try to be like Crisscross. And my aunt and uncle was always mad because, it was, copying black culture, and they hated it,
Yeah.
But I was like, man, black culture is dope, I always wonder why, like, none of y'all, hanging out with black people.
Right.
And I remember a funny story that my mom used to tell me. Like, there was one time where, back in France, she went grocery shopping, and I was a baby, and I just got tired of walking. I'm a baby, by the way, and I cried so much that I wanted to be held to my mom, and she like had groceries, and I'm over here making it hard for her to walk because I just couldn't walk anymore. So she saw a black man in the streets, and she thought he was going to do something to her. He ended up taking the groceries so she can hold me, and he would walk her back to her apartment and give her the groceries, and she said thank you, and then she closed the door on him. She didn't really give him any reward or anything, but he did it out of kindness of her heart, and that was a memory that stuck out for her. That a black man did something nice for her, I think that might have been my first interaction with a black person, in my opinion. That's why I always associate, good with black people. A good memory from that. So, and this was in France, by the way. So, I turned 12, and I get an opportunity to, play in orchestra. Because I didn't really speak English, I didn't know the difference between a bass and a cello. And so I checked bass as my instrument, thinking it was a cello. And then I got this huge ass instrument, that was like 5 foot, and the bass was like 6 foot. So I had to carry this big old instrument, and I owned it. Yeah. I owned that instrument, and I had to learn how to play it. But it gave me an appreciation to the sound of bass, and that bass in a song gives the song depth.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned that in most of my song, I want bass in my song. If it's not bass, I want my voice to be the bass of the song. So if that way you can hear the depth of the song.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 15, one of my best friend, he introduced me to a music program called Fruity Loops. And it was the very first, commercial program that was available for computers to make beats.
Yeah.
And we just started making beats from there. We were making EDM music, breakbeat music. And then from there, when I turned 24, I was showcasing some of my beats to some rappers. And one of the rappers, his name was Quick at the time. Shout out to my boy Quick. He decided to, use my beats to record some rap songs, right? And then we started recording, and he ran out of ideas, and he asked me to hop on as a hook or a verse. And I said, bro, I don't know how to rap, bro. He said, just try it. You might be good at it. I said, all right, I'm going to try rapping. So, write my first verse, my first 12 bars. And he's like, bro, that shit's dope. Let's record some more music. And that's what I did. I hopped on a few more tracks, and I tried my best, rapping. And then I just fell in love with rapping after that. I still made beats at the time, and over time I had to make a decision whether I'm going to continue doing beats or I'm going to rap. So I had to give up one of the two, and I decided I'm just going to just rap.
Yeah. At what age was that?
I was age 24 too.
Oh, okay. For sure. Damn. So so from that point, have you been making music, or were you just playing with it, or were you serious, or like?
Yeah. I had to take priorities first. So again, I was training to be special forces, working multiple jobs. I was dabbling in learning how to rap, making beats, just like becoming a whole artist at the time, because I didn't take anything serious. The only thing that was serious to me at the time was the survival of my marriage, my family at the time, my wife and my stepchild and me. And at that time, I also had quit my job, but I was still kind of pursuing special forces at the time. I was actually 2 years into 2-3 years, almost like 2-3 years into training for special forces. I had a vlog channel, which is still up, called Strength Over Benches. And I was training for it like hardcore. I would document my vlogs just so I have something to motivate me on. And then eventually, like, my son was born, and my first biological son was born, and I gave up the dream of joining Special Forces because I knew if I had joined Special Forces, like, I'll never see my son again. So I gave up that dream and then just pursued college 100%, and then my daughter was born, so that was another driving factor to complete my college degree. I just get that out of the way while the babies were still young, and that way I can enjoy my time with my children when they're a lot older, and I didn't have to deal with a dad hustling and going to college and stuff like that. I want to be part of their life,
Yeah.
So by the time I got done with buying the house, buying the cars, getting the college degree out the way, now I can focus on hustling and building the business, the music business. But in my mind, like, there was an old Facebook post I did in 2016. I said, I made a promise to myself. I said, once I get done with college, I'm going to create my first rap album. This is 2016. This is 2023. I just released my first rap album in October. So October 14th, right?
Yeah.
So I kept that promise to myself. It's crazy because I totally forgot about that promise.
Oh, shit.
But you know how Facebook tends to remind you of these posts you put on?
Yep.
Yeah, it came on right before I dropped my album, and I looked at it and said, my God,
wow.
I can't believe I fulfilled my promise to myself.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that's beautiful, bro. That's tight. That's so dope. Like what was it in you that because it's like if you forgot, it's like you forgot that for that moment, but you picked it up again. Like, what was it that told you, yo, do this? Like actually, because you have an actual album, you have actual this that, you know what I'm saying? This shit's real now. It's not like what was the thing? I guess what I'm getting at is like what pushed you from it being an idea to being like I'm doing this shit.
It all stemmed from the day I asked God for His help. When I asked Him, I'll do whatever you want me to do. I did it. He wanted me to stay in the military. He wanted me to take care of my wife, my stepchildren. He wanted me to work at the cemetery. Apparently, that was my life. The lesson, I think He wanted me to learn something from that, working at the cemetery. I think it was just an accumulation of experiences of people that was, being buried there, learning their stories. Essentially, their stories ended up being a resolve for me. Like, this should be your driving factor to pursue whatever you think you should be doing, which is now, in my case, it's music. Mm-hmm. But He wanted me to be educated. He wanted me to take care of my family. He wanted me to do all this so that way I can be here today, be 100% solidified. There's no secrecy in my history. Everything is authentic. Again, I made that promise to Him, and He fulfilled His promise. But He didn't give me. All He did was give me the vision that where I was going to be at today. He never told me I had to go through all this to be here, to get here.
Yeah. Damn, no, man, that resonates so deep with me. That's, dude, I love that. That's like, I think it's like, I don't know. Do you have tips or advice on how people can speak with God to get what to look for, what to listen to? Because a lot of people are confused on what's what and what information's coming from where, and don't know how to interpret. Oh, is this my ego telling me this? Is this a message from God? Is this society? Is this like? I feel like a lot of people can't contextualize that for themselves. So, like, do you have any advice or anything for people that are like in the mix and they don't know what the fuck is what?
Yeah. I would say you have to go through challenges in life to honestly, truly believe to get the word from God. So mind you, I was stripped from my parents at a young age. And I was guided here to the United States with no mentorship. My aunt and uncle were Buddhists. It's not like God, like Buddha's gonna come out of nowhere and to start talking to me,
Yeah.
But majority of my blessings and miracles were all Christians that came along the way. They helped me, go through and process some of the emotions that I was going through. Helped me go through the blessings like getting out of jail, getting out of the court martials being dropped, everything, going to college, everything. A lot of those people were Christians,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm a Christian. I represent it 100%, even in my songs. I'm not afraid to do it. I mean, I dare somebody, take my life over it, but I don't think they're not going to do that. But if you really want to listen to God, God's always with you. You're just not listening. He's the moral compass of your life. You do bad things because you ignore His messages, and He is a he. He's not a she, But that person is always telling you, hey, that's not what you need to be doing. You don't need to be doing drugs. You don't need to be stealing cars. You don't need to be toting your gun and pointing it at people. You need to be helping this person. And people can just, like, stop being entertained by social media, TV, bullshit music. You're going to hear that message. Yeah. Like, I see people even go on hikes. They're still distracted. You have to go through I'm not saying you have to go get poor, lose your family members to listen to God. Majority of the times, when I'm just by myself, just chilling, I can hear it. It's not a voice, but it's a message from the heart that's saying that's not where you need to be moving. You know.
Yeah.
Think about it, man. Like your heart, you know, the heart makes noises, like do 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 do. You only know that because you can hear from other people's hearts. If you put your ear on your, if you were to, no homo, but if you put your head on my chest, you can hear my heart. If I put my head on your chest, I can hear your heart. Mm-hmm. But you can't hear your own heart.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless you're extremely high. But you know, but the funny thing is, you can hear your mind. You can not open up your mouth and you can hear your mind. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about your mind is how you sound now. That's how you sound in your mind. Unless, you know. So if you think about it, God speaks to you through your heart. You know, why do you think when you're heartbroken, you feel it inside your chest, but not in your mind?
Yeah.
Now, shouldn't your head be hurting when you're heartbroken?
Yeah. Fuck.
Why does your heart hurt?
Yeah.
Because all your emotions, everything's from your heart. God speaks to you through your chest, man.
Yeah.
And you know when you're messing up.
Yeah.
And that's God telling you, hey, you're messing up, man. You need to stay away from that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, man. That's really good, bro. That's really good. Man, no, thank you for that. That's dope. I think that's gonna help a lot of people. Like that's tight. Man, so fuck, man. There's so many ways we can go with this. So like, I think it's okay. There's a level of where you consciously, well, I believe consciously, where like I'm getting educated and I'm putting my education into music, like how we talked about before. Master P is a good example of that, and I forget who else mentioned too. But like, it's like, no, they got educated and then did this shit. It's like, it's not just luck, it's not just chance. There's a reason the people that last. So it's like you incorporated that as part of your plan on purpose, or it's just like that's just your path, that you listening to God and trusting like the way.
No, I feel like that was always been the format. I think everybody been doing it since forever. You gotta think about it. Like your parents, they tell you go to school, you know, get your college degree, go become a lawyer, go be a doctor, be an astronaut, be a firefighter. Why is it that they say get educated first and then get your profession? That's all I did. I got my education. Now my music is my profession.
Yeah. Okay. I love that, bro. I love that. And that's like, I think that's what a piece of like a lot of this new generation is missing, including myself, is like, yo, you got to get educated and then put some shit out. Like you had mentioned before, like a reference along the lines of like, yo, like the way people are going to listen to you and respect you, if you're talking about fighting, if you're a white belt versus a black belt,
yeah,
and that college degree is your black belt. And for me, I was like, oh shit, I didn't think of it that way. Like I was meeting school's ignorance with my own ignorance rather than, you know, the overall purpose. I was too running with my ego and not listening to my higher purpose or anything like that. So like, I think that's dope that, like, I agree, that's the fucking format. And it's like, I've been everybody knows I've been shitting on college for fucking hell a long time. And like, I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. Like what's real is real. Like I'm just going to be authentic about whatever. And it's like, since that talk, you changed my whole entire tune about this I'm like 36 or so, I'm 37, almost 38 next month. And I've had this view that my entire life. I was a D and F student always. And we sat down, had that one conversation the first time we met, and that changed my entire fucking perspective. And I'm like, yo, that just makes sense. Like, what makes sense makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that is the format. And I think people need to fucking listen, because we see, I see what you're doing. The numbers fucking prove what you're doing. Like, fuck, just what, 2 weeks ago, some of your, like, you put out new music and it's like, yo, like 13 shares, 30 shares, and now it's like, what, 1,000 something? It's like, fuck, dude, like, okay, clearly you understand what the fuck is going on. Like, and I guess I'll ask you this just so you could share it, is like, what's your plan with music? Like, where do you want to take it? And like, what do you want to accomplish with it ultimately?
Ultimately, I'm already doing it. I'm leaving a legacy for my children, you know. Again, I believe we should be writing books, memoirs, diaries, journals, and have a library of information for your roots. Because I was not given a root. Even till this day, my mama can't tell me nothing about my grandfather without having her trying to explain it to me. But oh, he's great. He was an entrepreneur. He used to make bricks out of dirt and sell it. Okay, great. You know, that's all I know about my grandfather. What about my great grandfather? Oh, he was Chinese. He came from China. He was a businessman. I don't even have a picture of the man. I don't even know what he looked like.
Yeah.
You know, but according to my mom, nobody in the family is educated. No one has college degrees. I'm the first one in her lineage to be college educated. You know, same thing from my father's side. Like, even my half sisters that still live out in France. You know, one of them is an entrepreneur. You know, she does manicures and stuff like that, spa treatments. The other one is a barber. The other one works for McDonald's. You know, she's a store manager. Mm-hmm. But none of them college educated. You know, on my father's side. Some of my cousins and them on my father's side, yeah, they college educated, but because my father, he's the first brother of the seven brothers, right? And I'm the first one of the seven brothers, the first son. And then, of course, my cousins got a college degree again. I'm not discounting their achievements. All I'm saying is I was the first one from that side of the family to get college degrees. So I set the entire example and changed the narrative of doing that, right? And then and also changing the narrative of, because my entire family on both my mother's side and my father's side, they were business people, but they were doing things illegally. I'm the first one, doing the music thing legally and doing it the right way. So again, being a musician and showing my family that if you put in the work, you listen to God, you can pick yourself up and do whatever you want. Essentially, I'm giving my entire lineage, my future generations, hope. And that's what the world needs, more hope. We got dead kids in Palestine. We got dead people in Israel. We got dead kids in Iraq, Afghanistan. People who will never heal for generations because all they remember is their dead cousins, their dead brothers, their sisters, their daddy, uncles, aunties, etc. Right? Mm-hmm. They'll never heal from that until 3 generations down. But until the next 3 generations, they're traumatized. But for my family, I want to ensure that wherever they go, I want my grandchildren to be like, hey, this is great. This is grandpa. Look at him. He came out the mud. He worked his ass off and became a celebrity. If he can do it, we can do it. I left the blueprint for them. And if they want to pursue what I did, all they have to do is study my work. And that's it. And then, copy it and then become their own people again. Yeah.
Fuck, man, I love that. It gives me chills. That hits deep. That's the reason I do this too, Like, that's tight, bro. That's really tight. Like, and I think something that's like really magical about that is like, to become a successful rapper, for most people, it's a pipe dream. It's like, it's not really gonna happen, like becoming an NBA player or whatever. But then there's the people like you and the other people who are, And it's like, yes, you can actually educate yourself into this successfully. Because it's like a lot of times being a rapper or artist, it's not like a successful thing for the majority of the people. And it's like, because they're just kind of whatever, you know? So like, I think it's dope that you're like, no, this shit's possible. Get smart, do whatever the fuck you want with it. And it's like, create this shit. Here's the blueprint, here's the legacy, like, keep going, you know? Like, that's cool, man. Like, I think that it's just like, you're taking on a big responsibility for all your generations before you and after you. And it's like, nah, this shit's right here, transforming, and we're not going back. We're only getting better from here forward, right? Like, that's so cool, man. And like, I respect the fuck out of that. And that's something like, I think is so important that we have documented here too, is like, yo, this shit's not impossible, you know, for the people who are just lost and confused and all of that. Like, I'm sure we both know what it's like to feel lost, confused, not accepted, all that shit. Like, so it's like, I think for the people who you're an outcast, that's your gift. Like, you've been singled out, you've been picked on, you've experienced bullying, racism, all these things. It's like, in a way, that's your gift, where it allows you to be the 1% out of the 100 or 99 or whatever, right? Like that's fucking cool, man. Like, so like, I guess just to paint this picture bigger, like, in terms of like, what does being a celebrity mean to you? Like, what does all that entail? Like, what do you envision? Like, what's your grand vision so we can help envision that to make it realer faster?
So one of my favorite celebrities is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? And also Master P. Shout out Master P. Also Gucci Mane. I really love Gucci. Yeah, those are my three favorite celebrities, and all Black Americans. Well, technically, Black Americans. And of the three, you know, what I really love about them is that they all transformed themselves, right? From the mud, and now they're the leading examples of what you can be, you know. Gucci Mane went in, he was facing like some straight years in the federal system, but because he was loyal to his wife made him rich. There's a story where he gave her like $2 million, and he came back out. She had $6 million for him.
Damn.
And he stayed loyal. I love that story.
Yeah.
That just, you know, motivates me to stay with my wife even more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and obviously we both became rich together.
Yeah.
You know, and then Master P, of course, the best record label ever do it.
Yup.
He saved Snoop Dogg from death row.
That story is crazy. Yeah. He
saved him there, and now Snoop Dogg is the CEO of death row.
Mm-hmm.
But Master P was the first one to do it the right way. Yeah. So I want to use his blueprint to make my way the right way. And then and of course we got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We all know his come up. Mm-hmm. I don't know one person who doesn't know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's come up. And I loved him because he's given a lot of people pathways to be successful. You know, he done many shows, did many movies, appeared on many different things, right? But he's a great businessman, entrepreneur. I want to be on that level, being able to, you know, put people on, give the people jobs, good salaries, good benefits, and just showing people what loyalty looks like. Because a lot of celebrities, they hide their relationship. You know, they hide their relationship. They don't show you what their family looks like, you know, and I feel like they had an obligation to show the people that, you know, and I'm not saying that every celebrity is a good person. And all of them had demons that they have to fight on their own. But I feel like as a celebrity, you're a leader of the people too. You have to show, if you are at that status, you got to show people the right way, because a lot of people are lost. They're looking up to you to show them, hey, how do you do this? How do you become like you? Because a lot of people say, the old saying is never meet your heroes, because you'll always find yourself disappointed.
Yeah.
So I want to be that hero like The Rock, you know, and like show people like, hey, Like, you can be real. You can come from the hood. You can be a gangster and still have morals.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not all gangsters are snakes and rats. I mean, if they are, I'm be the first one to, get put down. But I'm saying, like, there's gangsters out there with morals, and they're real leaders. They're real leaders. Just they're not getting the same love like a celebrity does. And then all the supposedly gangsters that are out right now that have celebrity status, I'm not saying their name because they're going to take it as a diss, but let's just be real. They're not taking advantage of their status, or maybe they're afraid to, but I'm not afraid. And I want to be, out there being people's heroes and showing them that, you're not alone in this, and I want to be there to take care of you.
Yeah. Man, I love that, dude. That's what's up. That's good. What would you say to your fans? Because as this goes, literally every day, every hour that goes by, you're getting new fans. So, like, what do you want the fans to know about you? Or what do you want them to know?
I'm a person who strives to be the strongest version of themselves every day, and I want them to know about me that you got to be resilient. You gotta have love in your heart, and without love, you're not gonna survive this world. You can't have negativity and hate pull you down every step of the way, Mm-hmm. So if you need to know something about me, I'm really resilient, and that every day I'm fighting hate, fighting racism, I'm fighting the things that make people angry, and we gotta spread more love, respect, and definitely showcase loyalty, because that's what's gonna heal this world.
Yeah. Damn. And I just thought of something. It's like, within your music and your story and everything, you're giving people a chance to be loyal. Like, through the music, it's like to be a loyal fan, to be a loyal listener. And it's like, within that loyalty, there's a trust established. And if you're feeding people good things that are helping all of our lives and perspectives and all of this, then it's like you're creating goodness through that loyalty and through that means of trust. And it's like, because you really are loyal and it comes out of you, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's evident. That gives the listeners something to be hopeful for, something to live into, like to make it more than just a dream. So I think that's what's so dope, and like why I'm so fascinated by your music and who you are, is like, because I feel that happening, I see that happening, and I'm like, whoa, I recognize this, I see it, I feel it. And it's like, that's tight, because it creates I guess a new understanding of loyalty with people's self and their relationship with God, which in turn gives them loyalty to their ideas, their plan, their dreams, and it's like, dude, you got to be loyal to yourself first. Like, you can't sell out on like you're saying, keeping up with the Joneses. Like, we can't be doing that shit. That's the shit that's not important and we don't need to be paying attention to. It's like, who are you? Like, I think that's really cool, and you're putting that out there because you've done the work. You've gone through the trenches and you're not afraid. And it's like, I know right now, if fucking God stripped you of everything you had, you just fucking start over again. And it's like, that's what being loyal to yourself is. You know what I mean? Like, that's tight, bro. That I respect the fuck out of that. The next thing I want to ask you is, what do you want to tell yourself, the future you, in fucking, if you listen back to this in 10 years, you're gonna be like, damn, that's where I was. Like, is there anything?
We may not be where we at now, but in 10 years from now, I want you to make sure that once you got that bag, you take care of the people that really deserves it. Take care of the hood. Take care of the people in the projects. heal racism, you know, bring back unity into the people, and really show the world that real leadership is out there.
Love that, bro. I think your future self is gonna love that too. That's a good reminder. That shit's, I feel that. I guess, like, as we kind of start wrapping this up, what do you want to tell your kids and your future generation and all them? What just, you know what I'm saying? What do you want to tell them? What do you want them to know or to remember or to be like, yo, this shit's important. If I die tomorrow, here you go.
Never give up on family, no matter the stress, no matter the challenges. Always be there for your brothers and sisters. Always be there for your cousins. Always be there for your aunts and uncles. Be there for your mothers. Be there for your fathers. Be there for your children. Don't deviate from all the lessons that have been put out there for you. Study hard. Be your own boss, but also contribute to society. Build something for society. Build a home. Build buildings. Teach others. Teach yourself. Be a mentor. Be a coach. Be a leader. Treat people good. Feed the homeless. Be humble. God will always be with you as long as you remember all this.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that, bro. That's good, man. Actually, I don't know why I think this is important. Just what is family to you?
I was raised without a family. That's the funny part. So I'm the least person to speak about what family is. But I had this dream, like this envision of what a family can be. And honestly, I want to have like a family, like the Italian family, where, you have one side of the house, or not one side of the house, like whenever you have a get-together, a family reunion, you got families from all different parts of the U.S. come together, enjoying a meal. I want, when you're at your deathbed, I want like 50, 60 people around me, holding my hand, telling me it's okay. Go ahead and pass on. Of course, I'm not going to have that. I'm just going to have my children and maybe my grandchildren, But when my grandchildren, when they reach that age, when they need to pass away, hopefully they have a long and fruitful life, they should have at least 30, 40 people by their bed. I know I'm not going to have that, but that's my vision. Yeah. That's family. I'm the first. You got to remember, I'm the first. I'm setting that up for my future generations. So I'm not going to experience it, but I do have a vision of what it's going to look like for all my children and my grandchildren and their children.
That's some boss-ass shit. That's some boss-ass shit. And it's like, I think it's just perfect and part of God's plan that you grew up without that, because it wipes the slate clean, and now you get to say, this is what the fuck it is. As where most people don't get to make that declaration so strong and so real and really, really mean that shit from the heart. Like, I mean, just looking at you as you're explaining that, it's like I could tell that hits a deep chord with you, and it's like, that's tight. That's the good shit. Like, and now that I'm thinking about it, like, that's what I feel in your music. That's what it is. That's the depth that I'm feeling, because your story's deep, you're deep, what you're up to is deep, but that is the depth that resonates through your music. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, because you talk about family and this and that, and I'm like, okay, like, I feel it, I get it resonates, but there's more. This is deeper. This is hella deeper. And that's, I want people to know that about you. And it's like, rather than me wrapping this up, just boom, whatever, it's like, nah, that shit needs to get said. Because that's the shit where it's like, that's the work of God. That's the beauty of God. That's the power of self-belief. That's the power of creation. That's the power of creating legacy and family and some shit that really, really makes it, not makes a difference, but makes the difference. Because it's like, from here, for already on your own accord, but again, newly from right now, because we can only be right here, right now, you just created this on a whole new fucking scale for yourself, your family, what's possible into the world of what we're able to believe in, what we're able to do as individuals. Because how many people are walking around just fucking broken and hurt and have no fucking idea or no context, or my family hates me and they're blaming everybody, this and that. And it's like, hold up, it's okay. We can recreate this. There's people who come from worse. There's people who come from whatever and everywhere in between. And it's like, at the end of the day, we're all human beings, right? And it's like, what you're up to speaks to a big level of just humanity in life. And like, that's the most boss shit. And that's why I'm like, yo, this guy says he's the boss. Like, why? And I'm like, okay, I got you. You do what you do, but that's why you're the boss. You know what I'm saying? It's that depth, it's that love, it's that everything. That's why you're the boss. And I respect that, bro. I respect the fuck out of that. And I'm telling you, man to man, you got my support, and you know, whatever I could do from where I'm at, I'm here for you, bro. Like, I will do whatever I can within my power to help make sure that that's what the fuck happens. Cause I'm trying to do the same fucking thing, you know what I mean? In my own version, in my own story, and all of that. So, damn, like, thank you for sharing that. It's incredible, bro. You're definitely a unique individual who is blessed and touched by God and operates through that. Your angels are with you. Your family's with you. The people who believe in you are with you. And it's like, if on this path, at any point you ever start doubting anything or shit, whatever, because it's going to happen at points, fuck all that. You know who you are. Turn to your family. Turn to God. You know this. You know what I'm saying? But just to put it out here, just to make it that much more real for all of us. Like, you know, this is why, well, part of why the first fucking podcast we recorded just didn't work. Out of almost 270 podcasts, that's the only time it's ever failed. You know what I'm saying? And like, we got to get to a whole new depth and level and understanding of who you are and what you're up to and what you're really, really, really about, because it speaks through the music. But now when we add just sit down and talk about it, share the story, it just is a whole new level to it. So it's like, I want this show to be able to have people like you and the other people that I fuck with and talk to and whatever and what I'm up to for this reason. This is exactly it, is to showcase, yo, family, loyalty, create your own shit, leave your legacy behind, leave your mark in this planet, like write the history that you know is real, because I'm not going to have these motherfuckers write the history. I go for it, but nah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is our shit. This is our legacy. This is family. This is the deepest shit, you know?
I mean, it's a little bit deeper than that. I mean,
okay.
Like, forget everything I've done in my past. Forget everything you've done in your past or you think you're going to be doing. In this life, you're not guaranteed nothing. Like, cool, you've been a doctor for 20 years. Cool, you've been an auto mechanic for 40 years. Cool, you've been a criminal lawyer or attorney for 50 years. Cool, you've been president for 8 years. Right? None of it matters when it comes to your own family. Because at the end of the day, we're living here for our family. We're not living here to fix your cars. We're not living to, you know, we need those people, don't get me wrong. But those occupations doesn't define your life. What I do now with my art is going to define my life. It's going to define for my future generations. If I die today, none of my kids are going to know what I went through in the military side. There's nothing documented in my military. Only thing documented in my military is the awards I wear on my chest. And that's what I earned. I'm gonna remember those awards, not my children. What they're gonna remember, it's the time I spent with them, the videos I made with them, the day to day when I'm reading them bedtime stories. They're gonna remember all that stuff. That's what matters, right? When you die, they're gonna remember that, and they're gonna take those memories, transform it for themselves, and they're gonna recreate those memories with their children, etc. And the problem is with a lot of people these days, they forget the core of why they exist. Their parents made them, and I know as a parent, I love my children. At one point, their parents loved them that much. Remember, you didn't walk on your own. Your mom and daddy watched you walk on your own. They watched you ran. They watched you mess up. They watched you stick, something in your mouth, and they were struggling to pull that out of your mouth before you choked on it. There was love behind that, and people get lost along the way and forget that love. So this is what it's about. This music shit. And I'm not straying away from it. The message is clear. The music is about family and loyalty. And I'm bringing that back. And if people were talking about wanting to kill somebody else's kid, go ahead, man. But at the end of the day, that's the legacy you're going to be leaving behind for your kids. Or you teaching them the wrong thing. And that's not what God wants you to do.
Yeah. Fuck, man. I feel that. Yeah. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, man. Damn. Yeah. Absolutely. It's like that's what's so cool about sharing and speaking so authentically like this is like it's felt, and it's like how, and it's cool because like how you just explained all that. It's like, no, this is what I'm doing. I'm putting all my shit into this. I'm documenting it all. This is my work, my beliefs, what I stand for, how I'm going to transform all of this. And it's like you said, I'm bringing this back. It's like you're creating it because that shit wasn't even in the music I ever heard. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like you're bringing this to a whole nother level. And it's like, I just keep leaning into that because that's the shit that's like really bringing everything back together, and like you're fulfilling God's plan, and like for you to share this and for us to talk about this and document helps do that for me and my legacy, because now you sharing this, my kids and their kids and their kids, they get to see like, yo, like, though, yeah, like my great grandpa was fucking cool as fuck. He sat down with this dude, whatever, and like this is what they talked about. And it's like I want the baseline of all my future generations to just be real ass shit from the get-go, not having to do all this dumb shit, whatever. But it's like, no, authenticity is number one in ways, it's like in terms of our communication, we're not going to sit here and lie to each other and this or that. It's like, no, we tell the fucking truth. Like I always tell my oldest son that, like, I don't care what, just tell the truth. That's it. Just tell the fucking truth. Whatever. You could do whatever just tell me the fucking truth and we're good. Like, we can work from that place always, and like, so I appreciate you coming here and telling your truth, not even your truth, but the truth about who you are and what you're up to, what you believe in and where you're going with this. And truly is going to help a lot of people, man, like truly. So thank you, man. Is there anything else you'd like to share or say before we wrap this up?
Yeah. For anybody that's going through a hard time in your life, no matter what you think or what you do, there's always more for you. It may not be today, it may not be next week or next month or next year, but if you stick around long enough, you'll find out what your true purpose will be. You just got to keep going. Don't stop the fight. Keep going. Keep educating yourself. Health is wealth. As long as you take care of your body and you take care of other people, you're going to find your purpose in this world. And that's going to be all worthwhile at the end.
Fuck yeah. I love it, man. I love it, dude. I guess lastly, tell people where to find you. Tell them about your latest albums, what's coming out next, all of that stuff. Just plug all your shit real quick.
All right, yeah, let's do the plug. All right, so Back on My Grind was my first full-length album, 19 songs. It was released October 14th. It's available on all platforms, on Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal, Spotify, YouTube, for you guys who can't afford it. I got it on SoundCloud too. So there's no excuse for you guys for not to go out there and listen to it. I made it available for everybody, whether you have the money or not. And then I have a new single that's coming out tomorrow. It's called War. The song's about, obviously, war. And because I've experienced it firsthand, so you're going to definitely get firsthand experience on the lyrics. I got my second album that's coming out sometime next year, maybe in April or May. That one's going to be called Stay on My Grind. And that's going to have somewhat the same concept as of the first album, but we're going to be moving more towards my versatility, my style. And of course, there's always room for improvements on the flows and the lyrics. So you guys will be definitely getting a lot of updated skill sets that's coming into this album. And then there will be a future album on top of that, roughly the same year, and possibly releasing it in December. And you guys will definitely get more of me. And just keep checking my stuff out. I'm very active on Instagram. I answer everybody's DMs, whether you're a celebrity or not. Everybody gets a chance to comment and or have a chance to talk to me. So go ahead and shoot your shot.
Fuck yeah, bro. And straight up, that's how we got here right now. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know you prior to this. Well, I mean, I met you one time, but it was like, yo, it's just, you know, it's fucking online shit. It's like, oh, da-da-da-da, cool. Like, all right, you know, like, yeah. That's cool. You never know the power of what, you know, and it's like, I know how big you're going to be. I see it. I believe it. I believe in you. And yeah, man. So I appreciate you, everybody. Go check him out at Yamamoto_boss. Thank you, man. Thank you. This has been an incredible fucking episode, recording, conversation, insights, everything. I take so much from this. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
It's an honor, man. I appreciate you taking your time, bringing me out here and doing this the second time. But the second time, I feel like it's a little bit better than the first time.
I feel it. I feel it. Hella. Fuck yeah. I appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next time. Much love. Peace.